Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jonny Smail, and I have a tale to tell. There was this boy who, like many others, at a young age, their parents got divorced. Now, this isn't the tragic part of the story. That came later. Like many other parents, their mother started dating again. And she attracted a certain man that would forever change this boy's life. That boy spent the next 6 to 7 years being sexually abused by this man. When they were 14 or 15, that child attempted to kill themselves, commit suicide. It was really a cry for help, for someone to get notice of them, but no one saw it. It was a rambunctious child. So the mother and the monster of a man got together and decided that it would be best if this child would go live with the man that was sexually molesting him. So what went from a random scenario every once in a while went to an everyday hell. So this child had to deal with that stress and struggle every day when they were going to school. Every day they had to hide it from people because they were ashamed. Now eventually, this child told their mother about what happened and what was happening. And he got his victim. He got the person that was doing this to him put in jail. That child got vindication. Like so many others out there that did not, male or female, of sexual abuse. Many people don't get justice. They don't. But what was happening was 2 years later, they would be turning 18. But before that, the next 2 years were the only 2 years out of their schooling that they felt normal. And this boy graduated with a 4.0 their senior year. This boy would then move on at a young age. After they turned a man at 18, they would join the military. At 19, this boy then graduated in the top 5 top performers in their graduating class and moved on to School of Infantry. This boy then graduated in the top 3 of their graduating class and then moved on after this. But soon after, a family member would approach this child with a business proposition, a family member that would also forever change this boy's life. This family member, this child's cousin, suggested that they would get into business together and get a car lot. And the cousin convinced the child to put the car lot in his name as a sole proprietor. If you don't know what that is, sole proprietor means you are solely responsible. So this child was responsible for the car lot, and it became successful. But this child was still in the Marines and still working a full-time job. And eventually what happened after the cousin introduced a child to marijuana, after that, the child got kicked out of the military 3 years later, a year before they were supposed to get done. That child got removed out of one of the things that they enjoyed the most out of this life, being a Marine. This child believed that you couldn't take the title away from them, no matter what title you gave them. And the biggest title came next. Because of the cousin, the car lot had an investigation, and there were 368 different charges built upon the child because of what the cousin did behind his back. This child was then labeled a felon. After this defeat, they then went to college. This child spent 3 years going to college, and on the 4th year, they failed a class. And because they couldn't pay back the money to replace the class that they failed, they had to drop out of college. This child then fell into extreme depression from all the situations from their life. And this child decided that everything just wasn't worth it anymore. They don't know why they just kept moving forward. They didn't see it. They didn't understand why they were there. Why they had such a terrible life. Such a horrible life when everybody else grew up with a normal one. He thought it's one thing to be abused once. It's another thing to be abused for 7 years. People don't understand that hell, he thought. There's no way people, right? They understood that people out there suffered more, but it didn't matter because their suffering was the greatest. So they wanted to kill themselves. They made a plan. The plan didn't work. They got angry. The child got angry. Then they did it again. But the strangest thing happened the second time. When they should have been dead, they woke up. When they should have been dead, they woke up, and this child wanted to live. And this child had to live. This child knew that no matter what happened, they had to keep moving forward. Because they were here for a reason. They didn't know what it was. They knew they were here for a reason. They just didn't know why. Eventually, they bounced back. They tried and do a career and move to a big city and knocking on doors. They talked to a lot of people. He learned that every year that you do door-to-door sales, it is claimed to learn the same amount of knowledge as 1 year of college. So after knocking for 3 years, they realized that theoretically they finished their degree. This child, in the off season, got a job as a personal training director at a big gym. Loved what they did, but didn't enjoy the corporate side. Eventually, they got back out of the big city and moved home. This child still didn't know what they were supposed to be doing. This child still didn't understand why, what the point was for moving forward. fell in more depression but bounced back. And they still didn't see it. They still didn't understand why they were here, what they were doing. This child couldn't see it until they started asking. They started asking the right questions. This child realized that in the military, when they were in the military, they were given the nickname of the Motivator. The child realized and looked back and realized that's what he was supposed to be doing, but he didn't know how. The child didn't understand how that they could be a motivator. They understood and saw everybody else. The child saw everybody else and told himself he needs to be successful. He has to find success. Then people will listen to him. Somehow, some way, he needs to figure out how to be successful. Like all these other people that are motivational speakers out there. He needs to make a fortune, to be noticed. And he went through his life continuing more and more, moving forward and trying to figure out what it is that he was supposed to be doing. And then one day, yesterday I realized that I don't have to find success. I don't need to find success. I don't need to find it anymore. Because yesterday was the first day that I told my tale out loud to anybody other than in my family. And for 15 years, I thought I was a piece of shit since all this stuff happened to me. Yes, that's how I saw myself. I didn't see it. I didn't get it. I only had 2 years of a schooling that were normal. I walked around in high school with all of you friends, and this was going on to me. I've only been alive for 15 years of my life. And I realized that I don't need to find success because the simple fact that I am alive, the simple fact that I am happy, the simple fact that I am healthy at 32 years old, and the simple fact that if you ask around, you will be shocked to find out that I am the most positive person that people know. Well, I realized that I didn't need to find success because I wasn't a bad person after all. I wasn't a piece of crap. No, I was in fact the opposite. I'm the hero of my own story, and I never saw it. I never realized that if I would have started telling my tale 15 years ago, I could have been inspiring and motivating people then. But I kept it inside because I was afraid and I was embarrassed, like many other people, of sexual abuse. But not anymore. I realized what I'm supposed to be doing. Look, I'm just sharing my tale to tell you, when you think somebody has it okay, sometimes you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea. Be courteous to others and to anyone that has suffered the same fate that I had. Please, find your voice. Tell someone. Find someone that will believe you. It's the most important part. Because when you're not believed, that hurts worse. Folks, please, I implore you, in honor of making up the 15 years that I wasted holding this in, I have that many more people that I need to reach as quickly. Please, share this. video. Someone needs to hear it. Please like this video. Someone needs to see it. And please subscribe. Well, that one's just for me. Because soon, the world needs to know that you could get past and you could get through anything in this life. Because it's only been 6 years of my life that I've had as 32 years on this earth. Since 2012 is when I started to consciously be positive. And it's only taken me 6 years of my life to turn in and to realize how amazing of a person I am, and what amazing story that I have. Because all the motivational speakers I see out there, yes, they have suffered. Yes, they have suffered. But none of them have suffered like I have. And I'm not taking away from their suffering, no. It's all unique. But a lot of people have one day of suffering, one moment of suffering, one event of suffering. But I was challenged in life before people knew what the word challenge was. And I was targeted before I knew the difference between right and wrong. When I grew into it, when I understood what was happening to me, I couldn't get out because of the embarrassment and the disgust. But I realize now, I was a child. What was I supposed to do? So again, please, share my story. My name is Jonny Smail, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.